Hi, my name's Susante and I run a charity and a business for stopping domestic violence. And I'm also a healer. I've actually done 5 healing courses, and today I'm going to do a healing for the matrix clearing and for cutting, for when you want to cut up the matrix. Cutting up the matrix healing. Okay, so I stand in the power of my soul and I see and act as the Creator does. I am the Creator, rescue and harmonious development for the world and all beings, and I seal and protect this space with my life shield, which I'll now activate, and I'm protected from all evil eyes, evil intent, low vibrational beings, and devil energies. And I'm also going to use the numbers 8888, which are for divine protection, and I place these around my auric field now. And I'm going to connect on a soul level first to ask permission to send the information to your soul. And if you do not wish to receive this information and healing, simply say no, and then you'll not receive the information. So today I'm going to be using the information from my Genome Healing course, my Lightworkers Reiki course, the Converted Universe book, information from there, book 4, my own personal downloads from Source, information from Divine Masters Ancient Wisdom book, Change Almost Anything in 21 Days book, and I'm also going to use the Matrix Therapies course that I've done, information from that, and the life coaching course that I've done. And this information cannot be copied or used without my permission, as it belongs to myself and all course providers and is copyrighted. Okay, so first, this is from Dolores Cannon and the Converted Universe book 4. There's a matrix around the body when it comes into Earth. It's really an energy field. This matrix creates the physical body from a network of energy lines that come together and form itself into the human body. It extends out of the body. You can't see it, as it is 6 or 7 feet around the physical body, and it's like a grid system that forms our physical body. And some say it's like a shell around the body on an energy level. And this is why the physical body looks the way it does, because of the energy grid matrix. And it's separate from the aura that's around the body. And the purpose of the matrix is for it to create the physical body as it holds an energy field so that it can create our human form. And this comes in at the point of conception, and it continually changes for us, and it plays out in conjunction with our aura. And the matrix is there to create the building of our body when we're a baby, and when we leave our body, the matrix starts to dissolve as we no longer need our physical body. And the energetic or etheric body, which provides the formative sustaining pattern for the physical body, is experienced as light, and this is the matrix. Okay, and every living organism holds a matrix around it, or a template which provides the underlying structure for that material body of that life force. So every single consciousness, every single being, animal, insect, tree, plant has a matrix around it. Not just humans. So now I'm going to read the Divine Matrix, and it's from the Divine Masters Ancient Wisdom book. Okay, so this is chapter 5, Divine Matrix. Talks about the matrix. What affects one directly affects all indirectly, and I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality, and that's from Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, the entire universe is connected. Everything that was, is, ever will be is connected through an invisible bond of energy, uniting every living being from the past, present, and even the future. This information is not new. We've heard about this from the likes of Jesus, Buddha, and even Bob Marley. Today, scientists are beginning to provide evidence to help us understand this bond. Albert Einstein was an incredible man whose work not only supported the evolution of science, but also understanding of the human spirit. In one of his most famous quotes, which I often refer to in my lectures, workshops, and talks, he stated, "Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one force to another." To me, this feels quite simple and approachable. Energy is indestructible, but it can be changed form. For me, the soul is energy. The energy resides within one human shell, and will do so until the human shell is ready to take its next form. Pardon me, sorry. It reminds me of the journey of a caterpillar takes to become a butterfly, how it goes through radical transformation to become an even more beautiful version of itself. I've always been fascinated by the concept of oneness. At the beginning of every one of my talks and workshops, I like to remind the participants that we've all come from the same source of creation, and we will all return to that same source. No one is more sacred or special than anyone else. We're all equal. We're also all connected. We may not fully comprehend how connected we are, but we know that this is true. I like to call our connection the divine matrix, and I know it's also been referred to as the field and the bond. It's the universal mind, the power, the light, the quantum field, and also what we're referring to when we simply term spirit. It's the place we're all going to one day, but it's also the place that we're in right now. The best way for me to describe it is like a lattice. We're all points on this grid and we're connected by it. I am connected to you and you are connected to me. We're both connected to all our ancestors and our loved ones. We're even connected to all different aspects of ourselves, past, present, and future, as well as all the great minds who ever were, are, and will be. You are connected to angels, masters, enlightened beings right now, and through this invisible bond of energy, we all have the capacity to access the divine intelligence that's pulling through the matrix. The reason we're not always aware of this connection or intelligence is because it's operating on a different vibration from what we know in the third dimensional world, which is the world that we're living in at the moment. In order to align with it, we have to rise our own consciousness and vibration. We need to set an intention to move from the third dimension state into a higher dimension, and a lot of beings on earth are working on becoming going into the fifth dimension. This can be achieved through deep breathing and meditation. Okay. Now, aligning to the matrix, and it's from the same book. You might be wondering what the divine matrix has to do with divine masters. And if you are, first of all, I respect and honour your inquiry. It's important to ask and to feel things out. The reason the divine matrix is important is simply connectiveness. You are part of the divine matrix, so beautifully depicted in the Flower of Life. And so are all the masters. So the matrix is actually the sacred geometry, the Flower of Life. That is the basis of everything in the universe. And so are the masters. Therefore, their wisdom and guidance are available to you at all times. And how cool is that? Connecting to the divine matrix is simple because you already are. You are living, breathing, and experiencing it right now. So place your hands on your heart. It's a walkie-talkie of sorts and allows you to connect consciously to the matrix, also to the masters. Okay, now connecting with the divine masters. So there's a little process. You make up a flower of life, sacred geometry. You hold it in your hands, you gaze at the central point, you breathe deeply, and this is to connect you to the divine matrix. And as you gaze at the center, realize it's an emblem of your connection to everything that is. Now affirm, I am one with all that is. Infinitely connected to life. I am one with all that is, filled with divine love and light. I am one with all that is. Divine intelligence is available to me now. I am one with all that is, aligned with the divine matrix. Okay. So now So that's just information about the matrix. So think of self-improvement like polishing a diamond. You're already brilliant. You just need to learn how to shine. So now we're going to do some work with negative emotions and cutting cords. And the matrix to this. And this is from my Matrix Therapies course, Genome Healing course, and my Life Coaching course. Okay, so first I'll read negative emotions. And that's from my Life Coaching course. So negative emotions. Survival, negative emotions. There are 3 basic survival negative emotions: anger, fear, and sadness. The purpose of these primary emotions is to trigger particular responses that help us survive in the face of danger. Anger helps us defend ourselves. Fear helps us to run away, and sadness helps us to withdraw until either danger has passed or healing has taken place. Even though there's a positive survival purpose to these emotions, they can also create an improper response, particularly in modern society, where actual survival is not usually at stake. This response might also prevent you from achieving your goals or creating exactly the same behavior that you want to avoid. Okay. Now, socialization and negative emotions. There's 3 basic socialization negative emotions: guilt, embarrassment, and hurt. Each one has a part to play in the interactions with others and our society. Guilt prevents us from doing negative things to others. Embarrassment helps us control our social behavior. Hurt prevents us from repeating negative interactions with others. As with the survival emotions, although there's a positive purpose to these emotions, they can build up to such an extent that they prevent us from gaining the success and interactions that we deserve. For instance, sometimes people will feel guilty and blame the person they hurt. And rather than prevent them from doing negative things, they'll feel compelled to continue to be aggressive. So categorizing negative emotions. Almost all of the other negative emotions sit under these 6 umbrella emotions at various levels of intensity. And there's also love and power. All emotions in some way relate to our reactions to love and power. For instance, anger is often related to the feeling that someone did not love us enough to treat us according to our expectations. Anger could also be related to the fact that we did not have enough power to make someone do what we say. There are, however, some negative emotions that seem to be directly related to the lack of power. These form the 3rd category. So here's a process for, it's from my Matrix Therapist course, because I know a lot of people talk about how they want to leave the Matrix. So I just thought it might be helpful to do a little bit of this to help anyone. So if the only learnings you are getting are negative about others in the past, so what are the positive learnings you can gain about yourself that allow you to know that you are able to get over what someone else did to you, or you can survive? What learnings or resources can you gain from this event that will help you in your future? Is there anything else that you can learn from this situation, or is that everything that you need to learn in order to let all of the emotions go now? What is it about you that allows you to know that you are able to protect yourself or whatever it is? And if you feel it's important for the person, how do you know that you're strong enough? That's just some reframes that can be used. So, parts within the matrix. Sometimes there may be a part which is resistant to letting go of negative emotions because it believes that the person is gaining something important from the emotion. And you should always So if you want to cut the cord to a matrix, if someone needs to cut the cords to a contract or a matrix, this is just some information about this. I don't want to cut the cords. And what is the purpose of not cutting the cords? I don't want to let go. What's the purpose of not wanting to let go? I want to blame you. What is the purpose of blaming you, blaming me or you, whoever it is? There's no purpose. I know, but if there was a purpose, what would it be? So I don't have to take responsibility. So what is the purpose of not taking responsibility? So I'm not to blame. What's the purpose of not being to blame? So it's not my fault. What is the purpose of it not being your fault? So I'm not to blame. What's the purpose of it not being your fault and not being to blame? And the answer is, so I'm okay. What's the purpose of being okay? Being happy. What's the purpose of being happy? Feeling good. What's the purpose of feeling good? Being at peace. What's the purpose of being at peace? Being at one. So, what can you learn about yourself which will allow you to be happy, peaceful, and at one? That I'm a good person. Okay. Is that everything you need to learn so that you can now cut the cord to the matrix? Okay, and if yes, cut the cord. Okay, so that's just a process in my life coaching course. And it's also called secondary gain in my genome healing course. We find that even though you intend to release all negative gain, sometimes there's a reason that you may want to hang on to baggage and you'll sabotage your progress. And that's called secondary gain. That's when you're getting something out of staying in a problem or a matrix or a situation. So you have to do that earlier process to get out of the matrix. So you find the underlying reason that the person is staying in that behavior. Okay, so this is more on matrix therapies, clearing negative influences. So ask, is it okay to let go of the old connection for you to a certain experience? And how do you know you have this connection? How would you know when it was gone? Okay, so float out into the past to well before your conception. Then float so high up that you come to a safe, light place. That's in the higher realm. Now ask yourself, is it all right to meet the best aspect of the person here? Okay, bring the person that you want to cut the cords with, so they're standing in front of you. What do you need to say to them in order to resolve all negative emotions, beliefs, and connections? Is it best? Oh, okay. Do you have any questions for the person, knowing that they will answer from their best self, the best of who they are, and not from their personality level? Okay. Does the person have anything else to say? Now imagine wisdom and understanding pouring through the top of your head, filling you up until you are totally clear and resolved. Now all the old influences that you no longer want are going back to them while being transformed into a resource for them to use again. Let them know when that's complete. Okay, good. So it's time to now cut the old connections, the matrix between you and them. You can reconnect in the future if you want to, but it will be from here where you are now, not from where you were in the past. Are the connections cut? And are you now free from the old influence of that person? Good. Come back now above your past only as quickly as you let go of all old connections, emotions, beliefs, and values, all the way back to now, to this timeline. Replace them with all new learnings that you've learnt. When you're ready, come back into the room. So how do you feel? Has the old emotions and connections disappeared? How does that area of your body feel now? When you think of the event in the past where you used to feel the old emotion and connection with that person, the matrix. So how do you feel now? So go out into the future, and how is it different now that you have let go of all the old connections? Okay, so that's just some okay, information to use. Okay, so Matrix therapies, clearing negative influence. Oh, we've done that. Okay. So from the depth of our being, we make a firm decision. This is from my genome healing course too. We make a firm decision to participate in a different outcome. So this is for cutting the matrix. All traumatic events and catastrophes are not part of the Creator's plan. They happen because beings are out of alignment with their soul's truth and have attracted this situation to play out for them. However, whatever problem we have created, we can also uncreate. Which we're going to do now. So, we are going to cut up all cords to the old matrix. I see the initial point in time when all these traumas started. I see this point in my mind's eye. I go back 1 hour before this point in time. I did not participate in these upcoming traumatic events. I went my bright path of the Creator. Our traumatic paths did not cross. I did not participate in either the cause, effect, record or memory of any of this. I sit this now with the light of the Creator in front of the backdrop of the Creator's soul. We see in our mind's eye all of this creation collapse like scaffolding, falling to the ground, completely dismantled as dust and dirt. We have pulled out all the roots, the anchors that were holding it in place, all the beliefs, the initial belief that were holding all of this up are now gone and dissolved, and we'll use God's sword to cut all cords, strings, ropes, anchors, dysfunctions that were holding all in place now. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. This time and date into infinity. Okay, now God is opening the door for perfect solutions to my problem today. God is giving me all the strength I need today. The universe gives me all the answers I need today. That's just some affirmations you can say. And the numbers we're going to use are removing blocks to anything. And that's from Gravovoy. 91688, 91688, 91688, and divine protection 8888, 8888, 8888, and we'll now cut all energetic cords that we've shared in the healing group. And I'll use my hands to cut all the cords, energetic cords, also the ancestral lineage that has been attached to every timeline. I see everyone having all roots grounded to Mother Earth from our feet chakras, which I see are now open. And I bring the earth energy up through all roots, and I fill all entire bodies to 1 meter above all heads. We are now perfectly balanced in spirit, heaven, matter, and earth. All that is within and around us is now transformed to the light stream that's shining down on us all. And thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. And if you like this video, you can push the like button. You can also subscribe to our page, and you can share the material. Thank you.